How's it going, guys? And welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. I'm just gonna start out. I hope I don't fall asleep in class. Oh. I probably should have stopped here last time. Seems like the perfect moment to do that. Okay. What were we doing? We were out running? The morning sunlight streaming through my window wakes me up instead of my alarm, and I realized that it must be Sunday. Emmy was kindly dying to give me weekends off for my morning runs. I don't actually know if I woke up at all yesterday or if I just slept through the entire day. My legs groan in protest as I lever myself out of bed. All this running has really taken it out of me. Still, I can't deny that Emmy wasn't lying to me. It has gotten a little easier. I've been worried that the runs would start to wear on my nerves, but thus far as I haven't minded them that much. Well, it's only been a week. I suppose that's plenty of time for me to start dreading the sound of my alarm in the morning. Not that I could ever skip out now. As Emmy said, it's hard to stop a routine when there's another person. And frankly, I don't think I'm equipped to deal with a disappointed Emmy. She'd probably give me those puppy dog eyes and I'd feel terrible about myself. Which reminds me, wasn't I supposed to be somewhere today? Oh, flashback. Oh, you're coming to a track meet on Sunday, right? What am I talking about? Of course you are. Right? Those puppy dog eyes again? Of course I'm going. Oh, you're right. Exactly. Don't forget, okay? Crap. Amy's track meet. I better get a move on if I don't want to miss her running. Since she's the only reason I'm even considering going. Otherwise, it would defeat the whole purpose of going. And so I soon might find myself quite suddenly surrounded by a crowd of people, all turning out to see our track team compete with another school like this one. I'll admit it, it's almost comforting to know we are not the only school like this. After you see that there are two schools with a bunch of defective kids, well, you stop feeling so defective. You also stop feeling unique, which in most cases would be a bad thing. But in this case, it sure as hell isn't. It's a part of Yamaku's appeal, I guess. Learn that you're not unique. Hell, learn that there's a lot of others who would kill to be settled with your problem instead of whatever they're dealing with. Some of the kids here aren't here because they're missing a leg or they have a heart condition. Some of them might be here because they're as good as dead in 2, maybe 3 years if they're lucky. But that's only if they get the right sort of care. It's a bit of sort of comfort to be able to say, well, at least I got a chance of being alive through college. But there it is. Something. I'm brought out of my rather morbid musing by the appearance of Bryn near the entrance to the bleachers. You came all over the place. Oh, actually, come. Of course, I said I would, didn't I? That doesn't necessarily imply that you had to follow through. Lots of people say things that don't mean them. Well, I don't. Seemingly bored with our conversation, she turns her heel and heads back towards the stands. I owe Emmy money now. Why's that? I didn't think you'd show up. Emmy did. So I owe her for her again. You two bet an awful lot, don't you? Another shrug from an armless companion. I don't think so. We enter the bleachers and Rin nods upwards. Up there. I came down to see if you'd come. For the bet, I presume. Rin leads the way as we settle down on the almost empty bench. There's an older woman sitting next to Rin. Someone's mother, I assume. She's rather long hair done up in a braid. On seeing Rin, she gives on an oddly familiar seeming grin. Well, this is surprising. I thought you went to get a snack, not a boy. Huh? A snack? I wondered why I was down there. The woman laughs again in a way that seems familiar. Have I seen her before? Well, I suppose you've always been one to go out for one thing and bring back another. But I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Meiko Ibarasaki, Emmy's mother. Pleased to meet you. Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, and better endowed Emmy. Apart from her hair being a darker shade than Amy's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. Sorry, I'm Hisao Nakai. And really, you don't have to apologize for not introducing yourself, Miss Ibarasaki. That's really Rin's job in this situation, isn't it? Another laugh from Emmy's mother. I take it you're not known Rin for that long then. It's best not to expect her to remember something like that. She's got other things to think about, I assume. And does she's kissing face? Rin not seemingly pleased by this assessment. She's right. I was thinking about sunsets. You see, it's really up to us to make introductions and the likes. And the like. For lack of any better response, I nod. Miss Ibarasaki leans back a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow. So, how long have you and Rin been dating? My response consists of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into gear. But just before I can begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emmy's mother bursts into laughter again. Ha! You're a blusher, aren't you? I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in this situation, so I settle for a mumble response. Maybe? So this must be a new romance then, mustn't it? Wait, that's not the question that... Another laugh. I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry, forgive an old woman her amusements. She doesn't look old. Old woman? She still doesn't look that old to me. Oh. Same thought. Clearly Amy gets her youthful features from her mother. I suppose I can let it go. How counted you? It's starting. Oh, look at that track. Heads down, ass up. That's the way we like to run. Look at that image. Return. I direct my attention to the track, where they are preparing for the first sprint. It looks like the 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emmy. She's smiling with the almost cocky look on her face. The starter raises his pistol, bang, and everyone died. Oh, okay. Emmy explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. It's amazing! Even as the other sprinters converge on the lanes closest to the inside line, Emmy surges to the front of the pack. By the time she runs the final turn, some of the other runners have caught up with her. The efforts come to a knot, though, since the final burst of speed from Emmy leaves them in at least a half second behind. But look at that! Miss Ibarasaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly, and generally looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Emmy bounds off the track, looking pleased with herself. I cheer right along with the rest of them. The announcer, something suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the result. I think she's gotten faster since the last time. That was incredible. Miss Ibarasaki grins proudly. Emmy's a heck of a runner. We fell silent as this next event is being prepared. I'm surprised to see Emmy striding out onto the track again. Wait, didn't she just run? Emmy's mother nods. Yes, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. It's a lot of running, but Emmy can handle it. From the looks of things, she's right. Emmy doesn't appear to be tired, as if she hadn't run the previous event at all. If not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you never know. Which event is this? It's the 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100-meter, and the relay. I see. Once again the pistol sounds, and once again Emmy flies off the block. A thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She seems completely absorbed by the race. Emmy's mother cheers again, and I assume that the race is over. Sprints don't seem to me like they take very long to complete. Your foot. Your foot was bouncing to the bleachers. On the bleachers. Oh, you seem pretty into this stuff. I'm surprised. Rin looks at me quizzically. Why wouldn't I be? No reason. I just thought stuff like sports would interest you. I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport. I don't follow. Amy's the most Amy when she runs. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emmyest very often. But here you can. See? She directs my attention towards the track again, where the 100-meter dash is about to start. I watch Emmy closely, and she gets in onto the bleacher. Starter blocks. Her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. I can see that she's actually like a coiled spring. As the starter tells everyone to get set, her head snaps up and her eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curls upwards of in what could be a grin and could be a growl. When the pistol goes off, it's as if she's been unleashed from a cage, like she was always moving at this blinding speed. But we couldn't see it happening until the starter's pistol dispelled the illusion of motionlessness. It's all over a few seconds, but in those few seconds, I feel like I just witnessed something very personal for Emmy. As soon as she crossed the finish line, the fierce look was replaced by her normal grin, the conquering general returning to his farm. Amazing. She's really amazing. I've never seen anyone move that fast. Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Emmy's prowess came from her father's side. Huh. Something must have happened to the father. Since, he got her into running, you know. Yeah, she told me. I'm uncertain as to whether or not it would be rude for me to ask after Emmy's father. But after that look on her face a few days ago, I feel compelled to ask, where's her father now, if I might ask? Emmy's mother hesitates, clearly not willing to answer the question, but at the same time, not wishing to appear rude. He isn't around anymore. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up bad memories. Emmy just seemed a little sad when she mentioned him earlier. That's not surprising, considering... What's the backstory? They were very close. I see. A beeping noise suddenly emanates from Miss Ibarasaki's pocket. Reaching onto it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it. Honestly, text messages? What is he, 16? Oh, nothing. I got to meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Amy I'm very proud of her and that I'll call her tonight? Of course. I'll admit that I zone out for a while. I always don't notice that the relay is about to begin, but then I look, I can't find Amy. I thought that Amy would be running that relay. She runs anchor, so she won't be running for a while yet. Ah, did you see it? Huh? Amy had her Emmyist. Maybe. Maybe. This time? The race begins, and I cheer Amy's teammates along as they pass the baton. Finally, I see Amy sprinting onto the track to take the final handoff. Once again, I'm taken aback by how graceful she looks when she runs. It really is beautiful. The look of determination and fearlessness on her face only adds to the picture. Amy at her Emmyist, I suppose. But then, as she crosses the finish line, I see her stumble slightly. It's only barely, but it's a definite stumble. Rin inhales sharply and actually looks concerned for a second. Aw, Emmy, did she hurt herself, do you think? You noticed it too? It must be bad. She frowns as if deciding on the next course of action. Eventually that proves to be tiresome, and she shrugs again. Well, let's go down. Gotta crown the victor. See if you can find the laurel branch. That's not going to be easy. Ren shrugs. At least we tried. Well, we didn't really try at all. We didn't really try all that hard. It's so hard for me to read. Or at all. But hey, whatever. Emmy is surrounded by her teammates, all of them congratulating her on her run. Rin seems to be waiting for Emmy to notice that she's arrived. Oh yeah, I guess she can't exactly wave Emmy over. Then again, I'm not sure that Rin would do such a thing even if she had arms. It doesn't seem her style to draw attention to herself. Or to emote beyond shrugging. Either way, I'm not willing to wait, so I wave to Emmy, who looks up and grins happily at me. Us. Hey, you showed up! Guess Rin owes me money, huh? Who would have brought you a crown? We would have brought you a crown of laurels, but Hisao didn't find one. Hey, neither did you. It wasn't my job to look. When did we assign jobs? When I said see if you can find the laurel branch. A laurel branch. Try to keep up. I shrug. Guess Rin's rubbing off on me. Seems it's my fault after all, Emmy. Emmy laughs at Rin and me. It's okay. I'm sure you'll make it up to me somehow. Sure. Good. So how do I look? I stopped myself from blurting out beautiful or amazing and settled for the substantially safer or impressive. Emmy seems pleased with this assessment. I don't mention how much more impressive her performance is given her lack of legs. I figure she knows that already. Besides, it seems like it would take away from her efforts somehow. Great to hear! I was worried that I look a little slow on the relay, but I guess I did fine, huh? Actually, I know Rin kicks me and keeps me from finishing my sentence. What was that all about? He noticed it at the end. It's no good. Guess the nurse will look at it for me later. Oh, there was some smile there. My webcam seems to be at the wrong color. Maybe because it's so dark at night outside. There's a carelessness in her voice, as if it isn't a big a deal. But I suddenly notice a slight twitch in her face, like she's trying to hide the fact that she's in pain. It's then that I notice her breathing is a little shallow too. I guess she really is hurt. She really is hurt. She must notice my concern because she skips up to me and gives me a friendly pat on the shoulder. Hey, you look a little worried. I'm fine, really. Just sore from all the running is all. And come on, a little pain isn't going to stop me. Oh no? Emmy grins for a moment. She looks like she did during her sprint. Fierce and unconquerable. Or to put it another way, pretty beautiful. Hasn't yet. Well then, I guess I shouldn't worry, huh? Damn right! I'm Emmy Ibarazaki, fastest thing on no legs. I don't stop for anything. Impressive. Now release your anger. You must have sensed your friend's sign. Star Wars friend. Emmy giggles and then seems to remember something. Oh, before I forget, Rin and I are going to do something next Sunday as a post-track meet celebration. You should come along. Normally we do it the day after, but since the track meet was on a Sunday, I got homework and class and all that stuff to take care of. Plus our morning run, of course. Right, of course. Oh right, your mom wanted to say she's proud of you. She'll call you later tonight. I thought I saw her in the stands. I'm glad she made it. It used to be my dad who showed up to the meets, but Mom's done a pretty good job of taking over. She shivers slightly and realized that she's still all sweaty. My breeze has started to blow too. I'm not cold at all and I got my jacket with me, so without a word I throw it around her shoulders. Wacha! Classic! Emmy jumps slightly and then grins at me. Hey, thanks! It's getting a little cold, I guess. Yeah, look like it. Just as I begin to wonder whether or not giving Emmy my jacket could be taken the wrong way, a boy in a track uniform approaches. Hey, Emmy! You're going to miss the medal ceremony. Oh yeah, thanks. She turns to Rin and myself. You don't have to stick around for this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking on your homework. Now, if you don't want to be up late like so. Blah, blah, blah. Morning run tomorrow. Don't forget. How could I? Good point. I mean, it's spending time with me after all. With this, she wears quickly and dash off to receive her medals. Or whatever they pass off as medal these days. Rin and I head away from the track, Rin remaining deep in whatever thought she has for most of the walk back to her dorm. As I see her off, she speaks up. You're probably not getting that coat back, I think. I'm sure I'll get it back eventually. Interesting. Take it as it comes. Take it as it comes, huh? Very Emmy-ish. With that odd statement, she turns and heads into the building. Honesty, was it that big a deal? Amy was called unless I'm mistaken, and paid. Giving her a solution to at least one of those problems seems like an obvious reaction. Though I guess there's a chance I could lose my jacket if Amy never remembers to return it. Guess Rin has a point. Still, I can't bring myself to muster much worry about the whole thing. Over the whole thing. After all, it's getting warmer lately. I don't need a jacket. Odd. I think I used to have a little more responsible with my stuff. Emmy-ish, huh? Maybe that's not really a bad thing. Another catch eye. An eye catch. As people say it. In animes, at least. You haven't been forgetting to take your medicine, have you? I'm catching a little murmur. You should take it easy for a few days. The nurse's words hurt me far more than the exhaustion of the morning run ever could. Take it easy for a few days? I knew I should have kept quiet. I keep my eyes on the floor feeling like I'm a complete idiot. Of course, I hadn't been remembering to take my medicine. I've been rushing out of my room to get to the track before Emmy. After the track meet a few days ago, I felt inspired. So I've been running warm-up laps in the morning before Emmy shows up. But then today, while she and I were running, I felt a little pain in my chest. It was only slight, and it was for a second, so I mentioned it to the nurse. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I kept running and finished just fine. So really, it couldn't have been that bad. So why do I feel like I'm making excuses to the nurse? Moreover, why do I feel I need to justify continuing to run despite the pain? Really, it comes down to being my unwilling to concern Emmy, who seemed concerned anyway. I'm not sure how she was able to tell there was anything wrong, but she claims I stumbled a little. She's the one who insisted I tell the nurse, so now I feel bad for worrying her at all. The nurse is shaking his head ruefully while Emmy paces outside the room. Hisao, I know it's difficult for you to get into a new routine, but if you don't want to find yourself in a lot of trouble, you're going to have to try harder. You can't afford to forget your pills, and you can't push yourself too hard. But if I don't push myself, how will I improve? I don't know where that came from. The nurse seems to have an idea. Now, where have I heard that before? He laughed and patted me on the shoulder. Ha! She's rubbing off on you, I guess. His expression changes again and he's back in serious mode. Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't push yourself, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be taking your medication. And it doesn't mean you shouldn't stop if your chest starts to bother you. I'd prefer not to have any fatalities all among staff here. A bit of a lofty goal to be sure, but I'm always up for a challenge. I hate to admit it, but I think he's right. I got to remember to take my medication. You're right, I'm sorry to worry you. Who's worried? Who's worried? You're a smart kid, right? I know you can be responsible, Hisao. A situation like yours, you've got to learn to be responsible fast. I know. His expression suddenly becomes devious. I suppose you start to enjoy your runs with Emmy then, eh? Yeah, they've really been helping me. I mean, until today I was feeling a lot more healthy. Plus, it's really impressive to see Emmy run. Did you see her at the track meet? She was incredible. The nurse nods, grinning all the while. That she was, Hisao. I watched her first couple of races before I had some business to take care of. But then she told me all about it. Kind of you to loan her jacket, by the way. Huh? Oh yeah, it wasn't a big of a deal. I had honestly forgotten all about it. All about that. I still haven't gotten it back. The nurse gets a smile that makes me feel like he's just made a joke. Not to you, but Emmy certainly appreciates it. And I know she appreciates you running with her in the mornings. This one catches me off guard a little. Sure, she mentioned that it'd be easier to keep to a schedule with an extra person, but I didn't think that was doing her a favor at all. I thought she was doing me a favor of helping me follow the doctor's orders. She tries harder when you're around. If there's someone else running with her, she's going to push herself more. And she tries even harder when you're around because, well, it's you. What the heck does that mean? Oh, you'd love to know, wouldn't you? He laughs in the style of evil megalomaniacs. No, seriously, it's because you're her friend. If Rin ran with her, I'm sure she'd do the same. Well, probably. But that's not the point. The point is, you're helping her, even if you don't know you are. And she's grateful for that, even if she never says it. What do you mean, even if she never says it? Emmy doesn't talk a lot, but she and I have known each other for long enough that I can read her most of the time. I'll admit it, I have no idea what he's talking about. Emmy always seems pretty talkative to me. I see. The nurse suddenly realized that he's been rambling and stops talking, looking a little embarrassed. Anyway, you don't have to stop your morning exercises. Just walk the track instead of running for a few days, let things calm down. And take your damn medicine. I laugh and I exit the office, bumping straight into Emmy. Whoops, sorry about that. Are you okay? What did the nurse say? Do you need to go to the hospital? Oh my gosh, was it my fault, wasn't it? It was my fault, wasn't it? I've been pushing you too hard, haven't I? I'm a horrible person. The words pour forth like a torrent. She's really agitated. I didn't expect her to be this concerned about me, to be honest. Gotta calm her down, but how the hell do I do that? I do the only thing I can think of. I give her a hug. Emmy tenses up slightly, so I pat her on the head, and I hope is a reassuring manner. Hey, settle down. I'm fine, okay? No worries. I can feel Emmy's body relax as I continue to assure her I'm fine. Oh, even though it's not intentional, but something is happening here. I was trying to confirm that I'm not about to fall over dead. I catch a whiff of her hair. It smells like sweat. Or how adrenaline should smell. It's the scent of activity. And a hint of strawberries. From her shampoo, I suspect. I just need to remember to take my medicine. That's all. Don't worry about it. It's not your fault. You're sure? Her voice is muffled. Mostly because of the moment of her face is pressed onto my chest. Yeah, I'm sure. I just need to take it a little easy for the next few days. It suddenly occurs to me how close the two of us are. It also occurs to how nice being this close feels. I can feel Amy's heartbeat coming down, and I have to resist the urge to rest my chin on her top of her head. Thank goodness. You really had me worried there, Hisao. Amy, are you going to come in here anytime soon? Oh, I'm sorry. Was I interrupting? Oh, the classic. The two of us spring apart as if they were others just caught on fire. Amy brushes her hair back nervously and laughs. Of course! Of course not. I'll, see you later, okay? Oh, and Hisao? Take your damn medicine! The last phrase is punctuated by a punch on the shoulder. Yeah, I'll remember. See you later. And her smiles again as she's like he's in some joke I don't know about and waves to me as I head for my room, feeling a burning in my cheeks. I need a shower. A cold one. If the thoughts running through my head now are any indication, she was really soft. My pills are waiting for me when I make it to my room. I swallow them without a second thought. I don't know why I didn't think of waiting until after the runs to take them. For some reason I figured it was when I woke up or not at all. But no, they only need to be taken every 24 hours. The exact time of day doesn't factor into it. My thoughts drift back to the hug in the hallway. It's weird. You expect someone to smell foul after the run, but for some reason, Amy smelled right. The tang of sweat just seemed to fit her. I really need that shower. That's a lot for one episode. I usually just get one, or none at all. Huh, yeah, I'm just gonna save here, you know. Next time. I'm sorry that I can't do this more often. I try sometimes, but something else keeps coming up. I'm gonna leave you guys with a high five. BAM! Oh, I can guide this guy! That makes total sense!